When an idea lives far beyond its birthplace, it transforms into something legendary. Here we call this the Chiefs' Kingdom, the expanse of those that define the Chiefs' spirit. Anchored smack dab in the middle of the United States, this kingdom has no earthly boundaries. From its Midwestern roots, it grows. It covers plains and deserts, rolls over seas and mountains, and rushes right into our hearts. It spans generations, races, creeds, until it finally touches the rugged landscape of our hopes and dreams. This kingdom was not built on stone or mortar, no. It was modeled on the stories of sport and valor. And each year, new chapters are etched into this never-ending saga.
20, 15, 10, touchdown!
And although there is one special place called home, wherever you hear the thunder of red and gold, wherever a hero is remembered, or another one born, wherever the will of people give life to the game, welcome, neighbor. You're in the Chiefs' Kingdom.
All right, here we go. This is for, what, the AFC title or a Super Bowl? Or just Raiders, just beating the Raiders? If we won 2 games a year and it was both against the Raiders, that's a successful season.
That's a great season.
That's a great season. All right, here we go.
That's it.
It's just barely, but we'll take it. 3's 3. 3's 3. Growing up at Oval Park was an amazing experience. I always felt very lucky that I grew up there. It was the Rockwellian picture of what America, you know, was or should be, I guess.
I'd moved around a lot before I moved here.
I remember when I was in 4th grade, I think, I asked for football pads for Christmas, and I got them. And then I spent all Christmas, it was freezing outside, but I didn't care. I went outside and just would tackle trees or run around and dive for catches. And
I loved living here. I moved here when I was in kindergarten, and I moved close to the Oak Park Mall. And I lived here for about 1.5 years, then we had to move to California for a few years, and then back to Kansas City, because my dad used to work for TWA, and TWA's hub was here. I'd moved to, oh God, I'm just rambling now. Mom. I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on, Mom. That's my mom. I swear, she's like, I love her to death, but just, come on, Mom. I'm on Chiefs television. There she is talking to Rob Riggle over at the sandwich station. You want to know what it was?
Nights in Kansas City.
All right, man. This is what, growing up in Kansas City, rough. It's a rough and tumble existence.
Paul always performed for us. There was always a show at bedtime and antics every day. My husband was probably the funniest guy I've ever met. Paul comes a very close second. Whether it was, you know, come for dinner now, I'm coming right down, wasn't coming right down. Come down now, I'll be down in a sec. I want you down now. Coming down stark naked and wet because he had just gotten out of the shower, but sat down with a glass kitchen table, you know, to eat naked. And, you know, we find those things hysterical. I'm sure a lot of people are offended, but we kind of have a little bit of sick humor in our house.
Well, I was a football fan, first and foremost, and I think I remember our first Chiefs game, and I think that was the fall of '75. When I was a kid playing, I played defensive end. So Art Still was always, I loved Art Still because he was a defensive end, and he was just this big, massive dude who just wrecked people.
I'm Art Still, and I still wreck people funny, man.
I went to KU, and I was a theater and film major at KU. When you're a theater and film major at KU or any college, when you graduate, you're going to be a waiter or a bartender. That's just the way it is. You just don't graduate from college and then go start acting in movies.
Well, when I was in high school, I went to Shawnee Mission West, and I was going to maybe try and go to an art school. You know, right when I got there, I thought, no, I want to be an actor. And so I got very focused as I started taking theater classes, and then left Kansas and went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. We lived in California for about 5 years, and then I got a big break in the movie Clueless.
You get upset if someone thinks you live below sunset.
I'm always wrong, right?
Such a brat. I can't believe I'm taking advice from someone who watches cartoons.
Be quiet, you idiot.
Seemingly everywhere, Paul's career spanned the entertainment universe. And this small-town prodigy sights were set sky high.
Can I take your order?
A large black coffee.
Do you mean a venti?
No, I mean a large.
Venti is large.
No, venti is 20.
Danny.
Yeah. Large is large. In fact, tall is large, and grande is Spanish for large. Venti's the only one that doesn't mean large. It's also the only one that's Italian. Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages.
Likewise, KU classmate and funny man Rob Riggle set his goals to new heights.
But I also had my pilot's license when I was in undergrad. And so I got a guaranteed flight contract with the Marine Corps. So when I graduated from KU, I took my commission as a second lieutenant and went into the Marine Corps and started flying for them. And I always wanted to try comedy and acting, you know? I always wanted to try it, and I knew that if I continued flying, I wouldn't get that opportunity. So I had to make a tough decision, and I quit flying. I fulfilled my ground contract, and then I pursued comedy and acting, and that's how I ended up where I am now. And I'm still in the reserves of the United States Marine Corps.
Eventually, this Marine became a student of comedy. Hard work and dedication paved his way through the improv scene with such groups as Respecto Montalban and the Upright Citizens Brigade, and eventually would pay off.
And then eventually I got a shot at Saturday Night Live. Boom, big score.
I'm talking about hard work. Talking about discipline. I'm talking about running till your feet bleed. Ha-ha! You're gonna beg me to kill you.
And then after Saturday Night Live, I did a daily show in New York for 3 years. And during that time, I was also doing movies.
Are you saying pow?
In the face! In the face! No! I want to go!
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Woo! Not up in here!
Why does he keep doing that?
I live out in LA now, and I'm a full-time actor, comedian, and trying to make a living. It's 2011, and yet you can still go to a game and catch a guy in 1991 Zuma pants.
Yeah.
I mean, it says a lot.
Yeah.
It just speaks volumes. And they still have probably 10 years of barbecue stains right in this general area from where they did this a lot.
Yeah. Blending in with the tiger stripes.
Thinking it blends in.
Yeah,
with the tiger stripes.
Or not even caring.
No.
You know what I've noticed about Kansas City? I have a theory about Kansas City.
Please.
And that is, at any time, you will be able to find Bad to the Bone on a radio station. I think like it's a secret that people have never, so few people have caught on to. Yeah. If there's ever a moment that Bad to the Bone is not playing on a Kansas City radio station.
Bad to the Bone, and just in general, Bachman Turner Overdrive.
BTO.
BTO.
Yeah.
You can count on BTO in Kansas City.
Because in Kansas City, they are taking care of business, and they are working overtime.
Kansas City, first down goal to go at the 1. Castle, pass left side for Bo. He's got a touchdown. Flowers with the interception in the end zone. Big mistake by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Under pressure, Fitzpatrick goes down, and the Chiefs pour it on. Red hot.
This is a 50-yarder.
About a 50-yarder?
Yeah. I think this is the distance that Lynn Elliott was kicking against the Colts?
I have a feeling I'm going to do just as well as Lynn Elliott did against the Colts.
Why the hand in the air? Just so, so everybody knows you're kicking?
It's for my days of track.
Okay, all right.
Hit the upright!
That Monday night game last year was pretty special. And I was so grateful to be asked by the Chiefs to do kind of a speech, if you will, right at the beginning of the launch of the new stadium.
It was absolutely unbelievable. Rob had told us that he had done some stuff with the Chiefs, but he didn't tell us what he had done. And when we showed up, the press had said to everybody, be at the game early, be in your seats a good 40 minutes before kickoff. And when the lights got low and we saw all the fantastic renovations they'd done to the stadium, and then the video started, and to have Rob not only be the main narrator of the video, but then to see how awesome the video was, it far and away was my best Chiefs memory.
Arrowhead. I say the name and it gives me chills. I can feel the ghosts in this building right now. Watching, waiting, reminding me why this franchise is unique. Reminding me why this franchise is part of us all. It was talking about the heritage and the pride of Kansas City and what Arrowhead and the Chiefs mean to the city, and it came from the heart. It was very passionate because I believe all those words that came out of my mouth.
We at home, man. We gotta bring it. Arrowhead on 3. 1, 2, 3.
On game day, we are united as Chiefs fans, and with an unmatched passion, we bleed Chiefs red. We chant, we shout, we hug, we high five, and we hope that this is the down. The play, the drive, that this is the year.
It was just unbelievable to think that the guy I'd grown up with, they're using him to not only narrate the video, but then they're also using him to fire up the fans during key junctures in the game. It was fantastic. It couldn't have been better.
For a guy who's been going to games since '75, to be part of that Chiefs experience and to be here for that Monday night game, taking on the Chargers, and then beating them, setting the season off on the right foot, it felt great. It was definitely one of the highlights I've ever had in Kansas City.
With obvious passion for Kansas City, Rob knew he could do more for the town he called home. So it was in the cards when comedy met the city of fountains.
So Rob approached Paul and said, I want to do something for Kansas City. What do you think? And between them, they decided it should be something fun that reflected their personalities. And so they decided on a poker tournament.
Paul, myself, and Jason Sudeikis, we come home to do this Big Slick charity tournament, this poker tournament, because we love this town so much, to benefit Children's Mercy Hospital. We always try to stay connected to this town. We turn it into a whole weekend. We bring in celebrity friends to come into Kansas City and play in this poker tournament with us, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's a great opportunity for Kansas City to support an amazing institution here in town that does a lot of good for a lot of families who need it.
It's a fundraiser where there's no sit-down dinner with rubber chicken and boring speeches and a plaque. There's none of that. It's poker, and it's a whole bunch of guys that are so expressive and funny and great at spontaneity, and it's really just a party.
We're actually raising money for a really worthy cause. I mean, it's such a blast, which it's always great when those two things can happen simultaneously.
He said to me, you know, when you live in New York or you live in LA, he said, this is such a common thing. He said, but it's not common in Kansas City. And I am so happy that in some small way, I was able to do this so that Kansas City gets its shot as well. And for them, he said, here for Kansas City.
You know, we love Kansas City, so we want to find a way to stay connected to it.
It's wonderful to come here. And we've been doing it all of these years. We started dating in high school, and it was sports then, and it's been football ever since. And
when it's loud, you know that they're doing good.
This is going to be a good year. Primetime games in the NFL would be fantastic. Then they're going to get to see what the Chiefs are all about, what the game day experience is here, and then they'll know why we brag all the time.
If you had to play one song at Arrowhead, what would it be?
One song at Arrowhead. What would it be? It would probably be, I'd probably pick Rita Coolidge. Close the window, come alive.
Really?
And it will be, you know why? Unexpected.
Well, you're right.
It's a slow-moving ballad,
and
I think it would throw the other team, they'd confuse them.
Yeah.
Because they'd expect Black Betty or, you know, AC/DC or something that you hear in any state. I've been to a lot of football games, Rob. Yeah. Never heard Rita Coolidge played.
You've never heard Rita Coolidge. And I'll tell you something, a lot of the game is won right between the ears. And you throw Rita Coolidge at somebody?
Yeah.
Right before a game?
Could you imagine? They're out here.
Yeah, warming up.
On the field, warming up,
doing
their drills.
Yeah.
You
Close
know,
the window.
They'd be absolutely
bewildered.
Since I moved away from Kansas City, I've become a bigger Chiefs fan than I ever even was when I lived here.
Paul is truly passionate about the Chiefs. He's just really football crazy. There isn't a Sunday that he's not watching, or a Monday night. I mean, when he comes home, he'll look at the newspaper and he'll pick out the sports section and say, it's so nice to actually pick up a paper and have a whole section about Chiefs. And yeah, he loves it.
It's my connection to Kansas City. And I also know how big of a deal the Chiefs are in Kansas City and what an event it is.
Being at a Chiefs game and standing out in the parking lot, tailgating with family and friends, you can smell that smoky, that burning leaf, that smell of autumn in the air. You got a sweatshirt on. It's just chilly enough for a sweatshirt, but it's not unbearably cold.
It's the best smelling parking lot in the NFL. So I know what it's like to go out to the parking lot of Arrowhead at 9 in the morning and eat barbecue.
Nothing makes sense more than a 10 a.m. giant barbecue sandwich, and Rob and I will eat more at the tailgate party.
Beer and a dog.
Come on into the game to where Rob proceeds to have some hot dogs.
Beer and a dog.
Some more brats, maybe some nachos. He hangs on every play. We live and die every play, screaming so loud and so long. You're high-fiving the strangers all around you, and it's just Arrowhead football. It's fantastic.
You know, to me, those are some of the best memories in the whole world, and every year I try to grab them again, and that's why I come back every year to see the Chiefs, is because I want to experience that all the time. When you go on the free agency market, on the fantasy football, if I can grab a Chief who's cooking, I grab him. I'm always shopping for Chiefs because it allows me it enhances my cheering for the team and for the game. But yeah, I don't take Raiders. That's just a cold hard fact. I remember one time when Bo Jackson, he was playing for the Royals, and then that summer, and then that fall he played for the Raiders.
Yeah.
And he came back here, and they had a Bo Knows contest, and they made banners, and all of Arrowhead was just littered with these banners. Bo knows, nothing. Bo knows this. They just. And here's a man that literally a month before we were going, we love you, Bo, and he comes back as a Raider. And it's go to hell, Jackson. I mean, it was unabashedly just because he had on that Raiders uniform.
They're a horrible team.
they're terrible.
And they deserve, and nothing against Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Love Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
But the Raiders, they should just drop out of the NFL.
No one can convert me to any other team than the Chiefs, okay? That's just never going to happen. I'm a Chiefs man till they put me in the ground. That's just a fact.
You know, I've gone to lots of football games, and I've gone to games at different stadiums. Arrowhead Stadium, when Arrowhead Stadium is really just rocking, it is, besides being so loud, I've never seen fan support like that. I always used to say, you know how there are serious fans in Kansas City, is that it was the only place I'd go where I saw people wearing Chiefs pants. It's like any team can have a jersey or even a hat, but man, when you're wearing Chiefs pants, That's a fan. And not just Zubas, like proper slacks. They just say Chiefs on them. There's Chiefs clothing for every single thing that you can think of. Chiefs socks with the toes in them, in case you want to wear some Chiefs flip-flops, or Chiefs shoes. Chiefs shoes, where do you even buy Chiefs shoes? Probably at the Chiefs store.
The bright lights of stage and screen never outshone the beacon that was home to these two stars. Kansas City forever holds a place in their heart, even for the simple pleasures.
When I fly into Kansas City, you step off the plane and you've got that airport. First of all, it's the greatest airport. You just get off the plane and then you're just right outside. That alone, by the way, is one of the great things about flying into Kansas City. You just don't have to walk for 30 minutes or train like a little tram to another terminal, which is the worst thing anybody can go through in an airport.
Coming home is always, always a link. And inevitably when he's home, the Chiefs play and it always messes up something because he's not going to be here and not be at a game. It's his link with home. It's a link to not just a game that he loves, to a team that he just so honors and is avid about, but it's a place and a time. And I think that's what Paul carries with him, with Kansas City and with the Chiefs and coming home.
I always feel much more relaxed here. I think that there's just a nice vibe in Kansas City, and I love it because it doesn't feel different than my whole childhood where I grew up, and so I reconnect with who I actually am, and it's weird when you leave your home and then you come back and the things that kind of put a smile on your face are things you never would ever imagine. It's just, I remember that building of no significance that has kind of a weird architectural design to it that I never thought about when I lived here, but there it is. Like I was thinking about that, like just riding on I-35, there was that building that, the tops of it, all the lines, that would kind of curve out. It looked like a drop of water and then the splash goes out. It was just a little, things like that. They make it, it's a nice feeling. I'm a nostalgic person anyway. I get nostalgic for lots of stuff. So it's nice to come back here.
It's cathartic in a way because you feel like you're about to play the game. That's the adrenaline level. When that national anthem stops, everybody yells Chiefs, you're as geared up and as ready for the game as the players. And you hope that energy flows down the stands and right into the Chiefs. I've been to the Meadowlands, I've been to Joe Robbie, I've been to a lot of stadiums. And you don't realize how special Arrowhead is until you go to other stadiums. And then you realize we've got something really special here in Kansas City. Arrowhead Stadium is amazingly loud. It is full of energy. You can feel it in the parking lot before you get to the stadium, and that's not always the case in a lot of the places I've been. We've got a real gem right here in Kansas City.
Next, on Chiefs Kingdom.
The sound of death coming to take you away in the form of a tornado.
The most terrified I've ever been in my entire life.
You come out and you're in a different world.
It looked like a war zone, not my hometown.
Joplin's Chiefs strong. We'll be all right. We'll bounce back.
Toss power trap.